Hey everyone, in this video I'm hoping to cover uh, the muscles in the abdomen and showing you kind of like the side walls of the abdomen and the layers that it contains. I'm also going to talk about the inguinal triangle and then some of those major hip flexors and some of the blood flow right here in the front in that rectus abdominis. So let's just dive right in. Like I said, this is rectus abdominis. We can see the white in between each muscle belly, and these are what's called tendinous intersections. The reason that we have this is because in a normal muscle, let's take like our biceps brachii, for example, we've got tendon, and then we've got muscle belly, then tendon. And when we flex that muscle, like it's a single motion, you know? These tendinous intersections allow for you to um, have that curve as you bend your abs, like when you're doing sit-ups. That's the one of the purposes for that tendinous intersection. That's what allows you to have that six pack if you're really fit. um, but directly in the middle, there is what's called our linea alba, and that linea alba we see that it runs from that xiphoid process down into these muscles right here, which is our primidalis muscle. This primidalis muscle is present in 80% of the people, and it lies within the rectus sheath. If you do not have it, you still have a linea alba. Um, we just see it in this model right here, that these tendons are coming into that linea alba. Another thing to note about the rectus abdominis is the curvature right here that we see. This curvature represents linea semilunaris, is what it's called. Um, it is part of what we call the inguinal triangle. Just so we can get some of the layers out of the way, let's go over these side walls of the abdomen. We have this muscle right here, which is our external abdominis muscle. External abdominal oblique muscle. Excuse me. Get rid of it, we have what's called an internal oblique muscle. These kind of mirror what was going on in the ribs that we looked at in an earlier video. If we get rid of this internal abdominis, we still have one more layer, and that's going to be our transversus abdominis muscle. And let's go ahead and get rid of that. So now we can kind of see a little bit more into that cavity. Let's come back up here really quick. This is a vein and artery that we've covered before. This is your internal thoracic artery, and that's coming out of the subclavian. It comes down and it will bifurcate. So this will bifurcate into either your musculophrenic artery, which comes onto the lateral side, or we get what's called our superior epigastric artery and vein. And they're, if you're looking at this, they're reaching down, trying to reach what I like to say they're reaching, but they're coming down and kind of meeting up where that inferior epigastric artery is. Okay. This inferior epigastric artery, it is coming from the external iliac artery and vein, and those will come down and they slip underneath what's called your inguinal ligament. And your inguinal ligament connects here where your anterior superior iliac spine is, down into the pubic tubercle. So the reason that I'm showing you this is we can kind of see this triangle opening right here. We got linea semilunaris coming down. We've got this inguinal ligament right here, and then we have our epigastric, our inferior epigastric artery and vein. And this is what forms our inguinal triangle. So backing up right here, let's go up, look at all the things that we've covered so far. Now, looking at this backside, let's look at some of these muscles. Here's your quadratus lumborum, connecting in at these transverse processes of the lumbar spine as well on this 12th rib. Coming down and connecting into the top of your pelvis, or what we call your iliac crest. Getting rid of that, we have our psoas muscle, which connects anterior to quadratus lumborum, also connects in at these transverse processes and comes down and underneath that inguinal ligament and comes in and connects into what we call the lesser trochanter of the femur. This shares a tendon with this muscle right here, which is your iliacus muscle. This iliacus muscle, it sits inside what's called your ilium, which is part of the pelvis. It's one of the pelvic bones. It's all one bone in this point, but you can see, as you can see, but there are three different parts to it. So you have what's called your ilium, which is right there, and that's where that muscle sits inside. And they share that tendon in that lesser trochanter. So that's going to be it for this video. Hopefully it helps to understand kind of what the muscles are in this area. And we'll see you guys in the next video. All right, I just want to give credit where credit is due. These are the books and the resources I used for the videos. So first we have Essentials of Human Anatomy by Dr. Kurt Walker. We then have Essential Clinical Anatomy by Keith L. Moore and M.R. Auger and Arthur F. Daly. I also used Structure and Function of the Human Body by Mark Nielsen and Jamie Garbett. The last book I have is The Concise Book of Trigger Points by Simon Neil Asher. And then I used the app called Complete Anatomy. As you've seen from the videos, it's amazing. If you can afford it, I suggest it. It's such a useful tool when learning this stuff. So that's it. Have a good day.